to me if he violates that order and comes within 500 feet, what my recourse is and what would happen? I would like to know.
Quiero saber cuál es el recurso que tengo si es que esta orden es violada.
You can discuss that with the state attorney, okay?
Thank you, Your Honor.
Usted puede hablar con la fiscalía sobre eso.
Thank you.
State of Florida versus Veronica Solomon. We're back on page 1 of the calendar. Veronica Solomon. This is dealing in stolen property, 27 counts, and then a grand theft. Okay. From the Ulta and Flagler. Okay. And did we have attorneys that wanted to call that a turn?
There were 3 attorneys on the jury.
No problem. Okay. All right. Any arguments as to PC?
Yes, Your Honor. As to the stolen property, there's a corpus issue, at least from what I'm seeing in the arrest warrant.
Okay.
Your Honor, for purposes of PC, in the 4 corners of the A form, she does tell the officer that she stole these products on Facebook Marketplace after they had seen CCTV of her taking these products. And the statute just reads that any person who traffics or endeavors to traffic in property that he or she knows was stolen.
Anything else on the corpus issue? Any other argument?
Public defender stands on our previous argument.
All right, I'll find PC. What about bond?
Your Honor, at this time, we would be asking for pretrial services.
Do you have any priors?
No.
State, what's your position on bond?
The state would just be asking for standard bond, Your Honor.
27 counts on the first one. What's the standard bond?
For dealing in stolen property, it's $7,500, and for grand theft, it's $2,500.
It's 27 counts, right?
Yes.
You're asking for a standard bond on all 27 counts?
Not at all 27, Your Honor, just on the first 3 counts, and then standard bond on the grand theft.
What's the standard bond on the grand theft?
$2,500.
So 75 and 25. I don't know how to. Let's see.
You want to do 1, 2, and 3, 7,500, the ROR, the rest of the counts?
Right. Okay, but I have to do like,
You could write 1 through 3, 75 from each,
okay.
then write from 4 through 27.
If I refer her to pretrial services, I still do these as alternate bonds, right?
Yes.
I'll refer to pretrial services. So PTS here,
Yes.
okay, and then,
Yes, but all.
uh-huh,
And
and then 1 through 3 is 7,500. Each, and then
It'd be 4 through 27
4 through 27 ROR, right?
going on.
Yep,
28 is the grand theft.
and 28 is 25, is 2,500 for the grand theft? Okay, 2,500. Okay, is that good? Okay. All right, and she's got to stay away from the Ulta.
And those are alternate bonds, Joe, or straight bonds?
It's pretrial services, and all of these are alternate bonds. So it's pretrial services, counts 1 through 3, the alternate bond is 7,500. Counts 4 through 27 is ROR. And then count 28, which is the grand theft, is 2,500.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you. All right, state of Florida versus Janet Solomon. Okay. Janet Solomon. Okay. All right, any argument as to PC? These are both Agbat deadly
No PC argument.
Okay. What about bond?
Your Honor, at this time, we would be asking for pretrial services. It looks like she has no convictions, or at least locally.
State?
Your Honor, she has an open felony, F25008698. So the state would be asking for a felony hold on that case and standard bond on this case.
What are standard bonds? 1 and 2?
It's the 7,500 on the aggravated battery and 5,000 on the aggravated.
All right.
It would be 7,500 on count 1 and then 5,000 on count 2.
And is she eligible for pretrial services? Oh, she's out on felony bond, that's right. I'm gonna place the felony hold. What's the case number?
It is
858698.
8698. Is there anything after that? That's it, right? F25 8698. Okay. All right, so it's count 1, 7,500, count 2, 5,000, felony hold on F25 8698. If she were to bond out, there's stay away orders from John Johnson III and Nikel J. Payne. All right, State of Florida versus Jankella Allen. Any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
Okay. What about release?
Your Honor, at this time, we were asking for pretrial services. It looks like she again has very limited contacts with the criminal justice system. I think even her last interaction was back in over 10 years ago in 2011.
objection.
Okay, so what would be the alternate bonds? We'll do pretrial services. What are the alternate bonds, State?
2,000 on count, 2,500 on count 1, 2,500 on count 2, and 500 on count 3.
Okay.
Yeah, I just want to hear homeless, and to verify if it's given order.
Okay, can she verify an address?
Oh, do you have it? Yes, she is able to verify an address.
Okay. All right, so pretrial services, alternate bond, 2,500 on count 1, 2,500 on count 2, 500 on count 3.
Yeah.
All right, State of Florida versus Kimberly Gonzalez. Any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
Okay, what about release?
We would be asking for TAP.
You'd be asking for what?
TAP. She
Oh.
doesn't have an address.
Still be alternate bonds for TAP, right? Okay, so TAP alternate, what would the alternates be, State?
2,500, Your Honor, and she is out on felony probation, if you want those keys from both of you.
Oh, she's out on felony probation. Okay. Okay. I'll order TAP alternate bond 2,500. She's got to stay away from the CDS. Okay. State of Florida versus is that Myvi Fernandez Navarro?
It's a bond out, Judge.
Bond out. Okay.
Back of the A form, which is right.
BO. Okay.
Sorry, what is your name?
State of Florida versus Jacqueline Alvarez.
It's an added charge.
Got it. Any argument as to PC?
No PC argument.
Okay. What about release?
We would be asking for pretrial services.
State? Any objection to pretrial services?
I would just be asking for standard bond in this case.
These are priors. I'm sorry. She doesn't qualify. Okay. What's the standard bond?
2,500.
Okay. All right. Bond is $2,500. I'm finding PC. If she bonds out, she's got to stay away from.
Your Honor, that wasn't the correct standard bond.
For Jacqueline Alvarez, what's the correct standard bond?
Very well, wait.
If she's released, she's got to stay away from 7643 Harding Avenue in Miami Beach.
What's the bond amount, Judge? 2,500?
Waiting for it. What's
Where did that say? I believe it's 7,500.
what's that?
7,500.
I'll do a $5,000 bond. Yeah, I'll light out.
I'm sorry, Your Honor, are we still on Jacqueline Alvarez?
Yes, we're still on
Okay,
Jacqueline.
okay, I just want to make sure.
No problem. Bond is 5,000. Okay. All right, State of Florida versus Chanel Fernandez. Any argument for PC?
Your Honor, at this time, the only probable cause argument that I have is that there needs to be some intention. It doesn't look like there is any intention, just legal conclusions that this looked intentional, but based on the four corners of the arrest form, this looks unintentional.
State,
Your Honor, if you, towards the end of the A form, it says that, the officers upon responding did ask the victim if it was intentional, and he explained the situation and said that it was intentional.
but she also slapped the face of the rescue person. I'm gonna find PC. I'll order her pretrial services. What's the alternate bond?
5,000.
Okay. So pretrial services, alternate 5,000. All right, State of Florida versus Katrina Grant. Any argument for PC?
No probable cause argument.
What about release?
Your Honor, we would also be asking for pretrial services. Again, this looks like she has very limited contacts with the criminal legal system, and it does look like she has an address.
She doesn't qualify? Oh,
Then we would be asking for house arrest with roaming
can I order her in?
or the standard bond.
I'll order her in. Yeah, we're on Nicole Grant. Yes, that's her. Okay, I'm sorry. This is her priors. Okay. All right, I'll order her into pretrial services. What's the alternate bond state?
7,500.
Alternate bond 7,500. What's that? Oh, yes. Yeah, they were ordered from. They were ordered from Latasha Davis. Okay. All right. And we just need the pretrial services one, right? Okay. All right, thank you. All right, ma'am, you stay away from Latasha Davis. All right, State of Florida versus Leandro Gonzalez, Leandro Felix Gonzalez. Good afternoon, sir. Any arguments as to PC?
No PC argument.
Okay, what about bond?
We would be asking for TAP if he qualifies.
What's the bond state?
It would be 2,500 on count one and 500 on count.
A $2,500 bond on count one and 500 on count two. Did you qualify for TAP?
He actually does have we could do pretrial services. I have confirmed he does have an address.
Yeah. No. What about TAP? Does he qualify for TAP?
I don't know, he said he has an address.
She just said he had an address.
He has an address?
Yes, I do.
Oh, he doesn't. Oh, I understand. No, it's just gonna be the standard bonds, 2,500 on count one, 500 on count two. And he has a stay away order from 690 Northwest 57th Avenue.
Yeah, that's straight bond?
It's straight bond.
Thank you.
Okay. State of Florida versus Kevin Chang. Kevin Chang, any argument as to PC?
Good morning, Your Honor. Stephen Amster on behalf of Mr. Chang.
Hi, good morning.
I don't have the luxury of having the A form, but I would ask the court if they could take a look. This was a licensed gun, and I believe it was either in a glove box or in a center console. So there shouldn't be any nexus or connection between the gun and whatever alleged narcotics were found.
It looks like, okay, give me just a moment.
Sure.
Okay, state.
Your Honor, here, the gun was found on him at the same time the officers found the controlled substances on him. And he was charged with armed possession of controlled substance. So based on the four corners of the A form, there is PC for that charge.
Mr. Amster, where does it say that it was a licensed firearm? You're on mute. You're on mute, Mr. Amster.
Sorry, I'm telling you from talking with the family that it was a licensed firearm.
Okay, but that's not in the four corners, and I'm not sure that that would even affect.
No, it doesn't. I'm just explaining to the court that it wasn't anything stolen or anything of that nature.
Okay.
But the connection, just because the officers wrote that it was in the vicinity or there, doesn't mean there was a connection. So okay. I'm asking the court for a $7,500 bond on that charge.
What's the standard bond?
7,500.
Okay, 75 on count one, and what about count two?
500 on count two.
Okay, so $7,500 bond on count one, 500 on count two.
Thank you, Your Honor. Thank you, State.
Thank you.
Have a good day.
State of Florida versus Isaac Anthony Martinez.
There's 3 cases.
Okay. This is, yes. Mm-hmm. Okay. He has 3 cases.
Mr. Martinez has indicated to me that he wishes to represent himself.
Okay.
I'm claiming sui juris over these matters.
Okay. All right. Thank you, sir. All right. So we have the first case, which is F25-12877. It's cocaine possession of cocaine with intent. Sir, do you have any arguments for probable cause on on any of these cases? F25-12865 is burglary with assault or battery, criminal mischief, and cannabis possession. And then we have F25-12864, which is fleeing and eluding, no valid driver's license, failure to obey a police officer, firefighter, and driving with a license. Let's see, looks like a motorcycle. Failure to have a motorcycle license or endorsement. Okay. Let's see, as to the first case.
Your Honor, he also has an open felony, F23 3299. Looks like an alias campus was issued.
It's an
Okay.
AC. He's being held no bond.
He has an AC no bond. Okay, hold on. Let me just read the first. Okay. Okay, state on the first case. I don't see that there was a field test.
On which, on 877, Your Honor?
12877. Says unknown substance.
Yeah, I don't. It references the other open cases, but it just writes the case number. It doesn't go into detail about the two other cases that are
Right, but for the
right.
four corners, I don't see like.
Your Honor, in the charge, it does say suspected cocaine. I'm confirming right now.
Okay, confirm the statute.
I also am claiming as a private American, and I do challenge jurisdiction of not being in the U.S. corporation's jurisdiction. I'm a foreign national, and I claim sui juris over these proceedings.
Okay, thank you, sir.
I'm not the guy that you guys are claiming. My name is Subrigi. I'm a third-party intervener, and I would like to handle these matters in private.
Okay. All right, sir. Well, this is as private as it's gonna get today, okay?
Okay.
All right.
No, the statute just says,
Suspect?
it just says a controlled substance named or described in 893.031A,
Which
which lists all the controlled substances.
right.
So
But does the statute specifically, the language of the statute say suspected?
it does not, Your Honor.
Right, on this one only, I will find no PC. Okay. So I can ROR on that one, right?
Yeah, yes.
Okay.
Because if it's no PC.
Be outright.
it's Outright.
Or as opposed to, I mean, he has a hold anyway, doesn't matter.
Because always if my PC, maybe it's
Okay.
if it's not.
Okay. Okay, even with no PC, I can do $1 bond. Okay, I'll do $1 bonds on the first one then. All right, on the second case, which is F25 12865. Give me just a moment. Okay, I'll find PC on, this is case 12865, release. What's the bond?
Since you're being held already no bond, you'll be fine with standard.
Standard bonds,
Yeah.
okay. Give them to me for each count.
For count one, it's 7,500.
Okay.
For count two, it's 2,500. For count three, it's 500.
Okay.
And then for four, it's okay.
I don't have a count.
Yeah.
All right, so on F25 12865, it's 7,500 count one, 2,500 count two, 500 count three. Okay. And then the last case is F25 12864. Just a moment.
For the record, as a private American operating in a private capacity, I demand all these charges to be dropped and dismissed, sealed, and erased from the record.
Okay. I've noted that, sir.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Let's see. Motorcycle endorsement. Okay. All right, I'll find PC. What are the standard bonds?
7,500 on count one,
Mhm.
and then count two.
It's only one count, Judge.
Oh, traffic is charged.
Oh, were the rest of them traffic?
Yeah.
Okay. So that's it. All right, 7,500. Okay, thank you. And the stay away order is from 560 Northeast 67th Street in Miami, and also Eleventh Perez. Okay. Thank you. State of Florida versus Alan Correa. Okay. And for Mr. Correa, any, he's coming up, okay. All right, any arguments as to release? I'm sorry, PC?
Your Honor, I'm not sure if this necessarily goes to probable cause, but I would ask that there's definitely a motion to suppress here. So we're asking for a straight ROR. Because I think this is well beyond the scope of the stop and frisk statute. There's no indication that Mr. Carrera was armed, that the police suspected he was armed. The police just seem to be using this blanket police safety, and then they don't feel a weapon, so they still continue to search inside of his pocket.
Your Honor, a motion to suppress would be for the division as for probable cause. In the four corners of the form, it does say that a field work test kit was conducted and it was positive for crystal meth.
Fine, PC. What are the argument? Is there an argument as to bonds? I'll find PC.
Defense argues the same, stands on our same argument that this is a strong motion to suppress. Weight of the evidence, Your Honor can consider. Even though the state is saying that this is a division matter, they can read this arrest form and see that this is clearly a strong motion to suppress, so we're asking for ROR.
They would just be asking for the standard, Your Honor.
Does it qualify for pretrial? What's the standard bond?
2,500.
And
2,500.
Your Honor, he does have an address, so if you're not inclined to ROR, we would be asking pretrial services alternate standard bonds.
Give me just a moment. I'm trying to see if he's eligible for pretrial.
Controlled substance with the intent to purchase or possess. And it's crystal.
Okay, so pretrial services, alternate bond, 2,500. All right, State of Florida versus Noyes Nunez. All right, any argument? Is he, oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah, he's not here.
Right.
Here we come.
Okay.
And he'll need the services of the interpreter. That's Mr. Nunez.
The interpreter still present? Okay,
Yes, Your Honor.
all right. Any argument as to PC?
No PC argument, Your Honor.
Okay, what about release?
We would be asking for pretrial services with the alternate standard bond.
Estamos pidiendo que lo saquen bajo un programa previo juicio para que no pague fianza en este momento y una fianza alterna de no ser aceptado.
Okay,
Your Honor, the state would just be asking for the standard bond, and standard bond for count one is 2,500 and same for count.
All right. 2,500 standard bond on count 1 and count 2. 2,500 both counts.
Para cada una de las acusaciones sería una fianza de $2,500 cada uno.
Count 3 and 4.
Oh, sorry. Oh, I thought those were traffic. Let me see.
And it would be 500 for count 3 and 4.
Y por la acusación número 3 serían 500.
And I think you said 500 for count 4 also.
Yeah.
Okay, so 500 for count 3 and 500 for count 4. So 25 for 1 and 2, 500 for 3 and 4.
Y para el
Excuse,
cuarto también 500.
excuse me, Your Honor, if I may. This is Attorney Andre Riviere. I've been on all morning, and I have an appointment I have to get to starting at 1 o'clock. And my client is Cesar Solorzano. Is there any way we can get that pulled up and have it heard, Your Honor?
I don't know. I'll have to
He's
ask-
coming up next, Judge.
I've been, okay,
call him.
great. Because I wrote that this morning. I requested it first thing this morning and it just,
No problem. Where is it? Where is it on the calendar?
I have no idea.
No, I'm not asking you. I'm asking the clerk.
Page 12 of your reason.
Okay, thank you. Okay. Page 12, number 32. Okay. State of Florida versus Cesar Solorzano.
Good morning, Your Honor. Andre Riviere on his behalf.
Okay, give me just a moment. Okay, all right, thank you.
Judge, if I may, while he's walking up, Your Honor, I do not have the benefit of the A form, but I do have an understanding of the case. And my client, just for the knows, is a lifelong resident of Miami-Dade County. He has 3 minor children he raises as a single father. These allegations alleged to have occurred over 7 months ago. My client has been here the entire time, has never absconded, never been avoided the jurisdiction, and they've just brought these charges up now, which clearly has questionable about the urgency of these allegations. I have seen, based off of the website for the corrections, that he's charged with burglary of an occupied dwelling. I will tell the court that at the time, my client had known this person for several years and routinely walked in and out of the house because the door was unlocked. And so we're asking for the court, under the circumstances, to grant pretrial. He has no prior arrests. He's lived here his entire life. And this case isn't what the allegations appear to be on the document, on the list of charges, and we would ask the court to find that a pretrial would be appropriate.
Okay, state.
Your Honor, he does have one prior conviction. It is 2005, and based on the facts alleged in the A form, although they were from a few months ago, the state would be asking for standard bond. This was an occupied dwelling.
Judge, I would ask that you reduce the bonds because, as I mentioned, my client is a single father raising 3 children, and I would not like him to be stuck in custody because he couldn't afford to get out.
What is the standard bonds?
For count 1, it's 12,500. For count 2, it would be 2,500.
Wait, hold on. Count 1 is what?
12,500.
Okay, 12,500. Count 2 is what?
2,500.
Uh-huh. Count 3?
7,500. Count 4, 7,500.
Where?
And then count 5 is 1,000, and count 6 is 500.
All right, would the court be willing to consider a $10,000 bond for the entire case?
Hold on just a second, okay?
Not a flight risk, Your Honor. It's not a threat to anyone in the community.
Yeah, it's combined.
I got it. Okay.
Also noting, Your Honor, that during that 7-month period while they investigated and came to the decision to charge my client, he has never gone back to or had any contact with this individual, and there's been no allegation that he has. This is something far in his past, and there's no imminent threat to this alleged victim at this time.
Right, Staten, you're just asking for standard on every count?
Yes, Your Honor.
Judge, that would be tantamount to no bond for my client. If the court could please reduce it significantly.
Understand your argument, counsel. Give me a moment. All right. All right, as to count 1, it'll be $5,000. As to count 2, it'll be $2,500. Count 3, $2,500. Count 4, $2,500. Count 5, $1,000. Count 6, $500.
Okay, thank you, Your Honor.
Okay. Did corrections get that?
Yes, Judge. That's straight bond, correct?
This is straight bond.
Thank you.
You find PC.
Thank you, Your Honor. Have a nice day.
Also a stay away order from, should he bond out from Alexa or Yarzan? Okay. All right.
Judge, can I be heard also relative to my client's case?
Yes, give me just a moment, okay, sir? Okay, that one that we just did was. Okay, who's your client, Mr. Scriven?
Tavares Anthony Bolton.
Okay.
The situation
Hold on just a second. Same page, so
Okay.
page 12, number 31. Yes. Got it. We've just got to find the paperwork, counsel. Give me a moment.
Okay.
Yes. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right. Yes. Yes, Mr. Scremen, yes.
Yeah. The only thing I was going to say, Judge, and I didn't want to bore you because you're going to take the case out of turn, but his mother is being buried today. They're having a funeral, and I was hoping to get him out. I tried calling your office, and no one answered. And it's just been a horrible situation trying to get to the forefront. My name wasn't up there initially, even though we put it, and and then we had to go through all the misdemeanors and so forth.
Okay.
So I'd appreciate any assistance you can give us at this point.
All right. State, what are you asking for? Are you making any arguments as to PC, Mr. Scremen? I know you're telling me about his mom being buried. I'm sorry for your loss, sir.
Yeah, what I'd ask for is ROR, the minimal amount of bond. I think it's a situation. I don't have the A form, but it's a burglary of an unoccupied conveyance, which, from what I understand, they didn't catch him going in the car or anything else. He was standing next to the car, and then the other one is a criminal mischief. I don't know exactly what that is, but it sounds like a situation that would be good for an ROR. or the minimal bond that he can get.
Okay. What's the standard bond on this?
For count one, it would be 5,000 and count two, 2,500.
Okay. All right, he qualifies for pretrial. So we're gonna do pretrial services, alternate bond 5,000, alternate bond 2,500. And corrections, could you expedite his processing and release for pretrial services if you can get him there now? And there's a stay away order from EC. Okay, so if you're released, stay away from EC. Mr. Scremin will try to get him processed as quickly as we can. Corrections, if you can expedite, is going to pretrial services, okay?
Okay, what's the total amount of the bond? And also, if he wants to post that.
Total amount 5,000 and 2,500. So actually, I'll make it 2,500 on both counts. 2,500.
Okay,
Okay, so it'll be a total of
5,000. Okay, thank you, Judge. I appreciate it.
All right, and in corrections, we'll try to get him processed as soon as we can, okay? As soon as possible. We can get him.
Okay.
Okay.
Thank you very much. God bless.
Thank you. And that was Bolton. Okay. All right, so going back on, I think we were on Jose Luis Quintana on page 6. Jose Luis Quintana.
And he will need the services of the interpreter.
Okay. Okay. All right. Any argument as to PC?
¿Algún
No PC
argumento para el
argument.
motivo fundado?
Sorry, Madam Interpreter, no probable cause argument.
All right. And what about release?
Your Honor, at this time, if he does qualify something like pretrial services with an alternate standard bond, it looks like he has no prior convictions. At least
En
in
este momento podemos ver si él es elegible para un programa previo a juicio para que salga sin pagar la fianza, o una fianza alterna, pues debido a que no hay antecedentes penales.
And Your Honor, he does have a lot of violent convictions out of, I'm not sure what county this is, but it's the Lee Police Department, multiple violent convictions.
Aquí se ve que tiene múltiples casos de violencia. No estoy segura de qué condado, pero hay varios casos pendientes.
Okay. I've been handing numbers for pretrial detention. Is the state still pursuing that?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay. All right. Is the public defender aware that the state is pursuing pretrial detention?
yes, Your Honor,
Any argument?
¿Hay algún
no
argumento
argument at
sobre
this
esto?
time.
I'm going to grant pretrial detention.
Le voy a otorgar
Well-
el programa previo a juicio.
I mean, Your Honor, we would be asking for at least a hearing.
Yes, these, when we file the motion for detention, then get set for a hearing with judge, the division judge, yes.
Okay.
Sería una detención previa a juicio.
Is that
Y tendría una audiencia sobre esto.
It's
now?
yes.
Okay. I wanted to, all right. I thought so.
I don't know if you put there on this, but you were applying no bond to.
So it's going to be no bond to, I think it's just count 1 and count 2. But counsel, you'll be able to make your arguments in front of the division judge, okay?
No va a haber fianza en la acusación número 1 o 2 y los argumentos se van a ventilar delante del juez de la división.
All right, State of Florida versus David Jose Cordell. Any arguments as to bond?
Your Honor, I do have, I guess the one argument that I have for probable cause is I don't really know what the prejudice is. It's charged with petty theft with prejudice, and I'm not sure what the prejudice is. This looks like it's just a simple standard misdemeanor petty theft. So at that point, we would be asking for a straight ROR.
State?
Your Honor, I don't, I have no objection.
I don't know what
But
prejudice is either.
there would be probable cause to an ML.
I'm sorry?
There would be probable cause for first degree misdemeanors.
Right.
But yeah.
DC. Okay, he qualifies for pretrial. Okay, so pretrial alternate. Actually, can I RR? What is his? I'll RR. Okay. And sir, when you're released, you've got to stay away from 21265 Biscayne Boulevard in Aventura. Okay. Yep. You're doing well, sir. So I think just consult your lawyer if you have anything else to say. All right. State of Florida versus, are we on Junior Oakley? Okay, good afternoon, Mr. Oakley. All right, any argument as to PC?
At least to count 2, it says tampering with a victim for a life or capital felony, unless I'm reading this incorrect. I don't see what the capital or life felony is. So we would be finding no PC on that count.
State?
I'm just pulling up the statute. Yeah, Your Honor, I'm not sure. Robbery by sudden snatching doesn't appear to be a life felony, so. Your Honor, it does say on the A form, we're gonna try to pull up this case now, but it does say that the defendant has an open domestic violence case pending against him. That could be why that charge was added.
You check.
I mean, if it's a life or capital felony, I don't see how he would be able to bond out. So if it's from the unrelated DV case.
I mean, unless there's more. Okay, can we do this? Can we pass this briefly while the state looks into it? Okay, we're gonna pass that. And come back to it. State of Florida versus Alan Autry.
The bond out.
The bond out, okay. All right, State of Florida versus Terrence Dukes. Okay, and this is armed robbery with a deadly weapon. Any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
Okay, what about release?
Your Honor, the state's filing a motion for pretrial detention.
Okay, I'll grant the motion for pretrial detention. You can go before the division judge. And so, what do I write on count 1 again?
It could be no bond, Your Honor.
Yep.
Hold on.
Yep, no bond. Okay, no bond if you
Yes,
can.
there's-
Okay, and there is a stay away order from the victim in this case. Okay. State of Florida versus Gilberto Torres.
It's a bond out.
Bond out, okay. Okay. State of Florida versus Edward Moreland.
He refused court, reset tomorrow.
Okay. Edward Moreland. Okay. So. State of Florida versus Vladimir Nunez Arzola.
And he'll need the services of the interpreter.
Okay.
And your Honor, the state is also filing a pretrial detention motion for this one.
Yes, señor. Le están ofreciendo. That was pre-trial, Your Honor. I couldn't hear you very well.
State is seeking pretrial detention on Mr. Vladimir Nunez Arzola.
Oh,
Okay.
pre-trial detention.
They're seeking pretrial detention. Give me a moment.
Están pidiendo una detención previa a juicio.
Is there any argument as to PC?
No
Hay
PC
argumento.
argument.
No hay
Okay.
argumento.
Or actually, I take that back. I would say that at least with aggravated battery, there's a specific intent requirement. At least as it looks in the arrest form, I'm not seeing what just holding a knife. None of that is on video. At least the knife is not on video. And yeah, because I'm basically arguing there's no specific intent. Therefore, there's no probable cause for aggravated battery.
Pienso que no hay un motivo fundado para la agresión con agravantes, ya que se habla de que el acusado tenía aguantado un cuchillo, pero el cuchillo no se ha reflejado en ningún lugar, o sea, no se ha visto en ninguna grabación.
All right, I'm gonna find PC on both counts. No bond will be held in pretrial detention and go before the division judge.
Ok, señor, me encuentro según la señora jueza que hay un motivo fundado, no le impongo fianza, o sea, no tiene ninguna fianza y va a estar en detención previa a juicio hasta que vaya delante del juez de la división.
So what's the bond for count two? Okay, so no bond count one, count two, 3,000. I can have that.
No hay fianza.
What was count two, Judge?
That's okay. Count two is 5,000. Count one, no bond, count two, 5,000.
Ok, en la primera acusación no hay fianza, en la segunda hay $5,000 de fianza.
State versus Joel Washington. State versus Joel Washington.
In Your Honor, for this one, it says that on yesterday, probable cause was already found for a resisting and then just normal battery on a law enforcement officer.
Okay, so is there anything we need to do? He was just in Ward D.
Just the bond.
Well, is he present? Are they waiting his presence?
No, I think he's here. He's here. Okay. So, yep, so I'll adopt the PC findings from yesterday. And what's the situation on bond? Count one. What are the arguments for bond?
Your Honor, we would be asking for TAP. It doesn't look like he has any priors that I can see.
Okay.
One moment, Your Honor. He's from Arizona, so I'm just looking. Yes, Your Honor, all his priors were dismissed. He doesn't have any convictions.
Okay, so TAP. Can we do TAP, alternate bond?
There's no representative of TAPIS here.
No, I'm just asking what the standards are.
For count one, for count two, it's 2,500, and then count one is 1,500.
Okay, so TAP, alternate bond, count one, 1,500, count two, 2,500. Okay. All right, state versus.
And you're,
Moreno.
He has a hold for immigration.
Okay. Is an immigration hold, and any argument for PC?
Your Honor, at least for this to count one, I don't see anything in the arrest form that would indicate that there was an intent to sell. So we would be asking for TAP.
I don't think he'd be eligible for TAP with an
Yeah.
Right. Yeah, I would do straight bond on this. I'm gonna find PC based on the amount. What's the bond on that one?
The bond is count one.
And Your Honor, he does need the services of the interpreter.
Oh, yeah.
And your
Apologize.
one would be 7,500.
Okay, 7,500 count one,
Count two, 500.
500 count two.
Señor. Tiene una fianza de 7,500 en la acusación número 1, de 500 en la número 2,
500 count three. Okay.
500 en la 3.
I think the traffic.
Oh, it's a traffic. Okay. All right, so 7,500 count one, 500 count two. I said three things.
Ok, solo 7,500 por la primera, 500 por la segunda acusación.
Okay. All right, thank you. State of
Gracias.
Gregory Hillman. Gregory Hillman. Okay. All right, any argument for PC? It's PC.
Reset today for PCH hearing, for probable cause hearing, I believe it was because of counsel. On the back of the fifth page of the information.
It just says reset PCH. Okay. All right, any arguments as to PC?
Yes, Your Honor, at least as to count two, I don't think there's anything indicating other than just conclusions of suspicion that this is an instrument used to cook narcotics. There was just, it's just basically a legal conclusion with nothing backing it up.
Okay.
And my understanding was that this was set today for a probable cause hearing for the officer to appear. I don't know if the officer is here.
Because usually in a separate hearing, they would have been subpoenaed.
Okay, are the officers on Zoom? I don't know.
It would be Officer Valdez or Officer Hilson.
Seeing as they're not here as they were required to be here, as instructed, I would be asking that no probable cause be found on count two.
RR on count two. By PC on counts 1 and 3. Argument for release.
Your Honor, at this time, we would be asking for pretrial services. He does have an address.
I don't think he qualifies.
He does not, he's a signal 400.
He doesn't qualify. All right, what's the standard bond for count one
2,500,
and count three?
500.
All right, so 2,500 on count one, ROR on count two, 500 on count three. Okay. State of Florida versus Richard Antoine.
And Your Honor, I just candidly speaking, at least with Mr. Richard Antoine, all I have is a warrant arrest form. I don't have the arrest form for the DUI, manslaughter, vehicular homicide, or anything like that.
Your Honor, yeah, I think it might be because he's out on an AC.
No, she doesn't have a copy of the arrest.
We don't get it because we think it's.
If it's
because-
picked up on an AD,
Yeah.
then there's already.
So do you have the statement of facts in support of the arrest warrant? That would be the, what's that?
We don't have it either.
I have the statement of facts. That's what I'm asking. Do you guys have the statement of facts in support of the arrest warrant?
For Your Honor, I believe he's out on an AC, so PC's already been heard.
It's bound by the judge to issue.
He's a hold for Division 7. Right? He's out on bond hold for Division 7, so we've got to hold him for Division 7 anyway. Right? Okay. All right, so he's a hold for Division 7. He'll go before the Division 7 judge. Okay, thank you.
We still have to address the bonds.
Yes.
Even if it's a division hold? Okay.
Judges. Yes.
Judge, if we can actually stay on Mr. Richard Antoine, because I'm very confused, because I have an arrest form talking about a felon in possession, and then I'm looking at the calendar and I'm seeing vehicular homicide.
Right. So,
Just kind of right here.
so there is an arrest warrant. I have a 4-page arrest warrant.
If you want, you could go by the calendar and check the counts.
I'm not sure if you have a copy of the arrest warrant.
No, I do not, so I will need a copy.
All right.
So on each count, and sometimes reading it off of the warrant is.
Gotcha. She needs a copy of the, she doesn't have a copy of the arrest warrant. I mean, the only thing we can do is try to reset this for tomorrow.
That'll be fine, Your Honor.
I mean, he's a hold for Division 7 anyway. We can reset it for tomorrow and address it tomorrow when the public defender has, you know, has the benefit of the paperwork.
The only problem with that, Your Honor, is that there's no guarantee that she's the public defender's mom. We get different money.
But will they be able to have the paperwork? Because she does get.
Yeah, because that's the problem, is I can't make a probable cause argument as to the vehicular homicide because I don't have anything.
Because this is arrest warrant, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so the arrest warrant has already been signed. Yep, I'm saying that. Oh, yeah. Okay, the arrest warrant has already been signed, so probable cause isn't an issue. So I will find PC. I have to set bonds on each count.
Yes.
Okay. It's a lot of counts. So what are the bonds? So there's no bond on,
I have no bond on both, you know, on all.
Right.
ones.
DUI manslaughter, DUI, let's see, reckless driving with serious injury should be bondable, right? So no bond on the vehicular homicide count 1, no bond on count 2, no bond on count 3, no bond on count 4, no bond on count 5. Then the DUI with damage to property or person.
I think it's 1,000 Your Honor for standard bond.
Okay. So 1,000 on count 6, 1,000 on count 7. And then what about the reckless driving with serious injury?
5,000?
Is it?
Yes.
Okay, and so 5,000 on count 8, 5,000 on count 9, and 5,000 on count 10. And there's still a hold for Division 7. Okay, got that correction?
Yes, Judge, thank you.
Okay, thank you. I'm sorry, what else on, I didn't write it down, on 8, 9, and 10 was how much?
8, 9, 10 was 5,000.
5,000, right? Okay, on all of those, okay. Lost my place, okay. Oh, all of that. Okay. State of Florida versus Jeremy Anderson. Well, good afternoon, Mr. Anderson. Any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
Okay, what about release?
At this time, we would be asking for pretrial services.
Does he qualify? No. Okay, he doesn't qualify for pretrial services.
Why not?
More than 3 convictions within 5.
More than 3 convictions within 5 years. What's the standard?
Okay.
2,500.
Any argument on bond?
The state would just be asking for standard bond. He does have he has 1 open misdemeanor that involves a petty theft. So the state would just be asking for standard.
All right, $2,500 bond. Stay away from the target on Biscayne. All right, state of Florida versus David Porter.
Yeah, we're also ready to recall the one we passed whenever you want me ready.
Okay, let's do David Porter and then I'll go back to it. He does. Okay, Mr. Porter qualifies for pretrial. Any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
Okay, and what's the standard bond as an alternate?
2,500.
Okay, just on that one count, right? Okay, so pretrial services alternate bond 2,500. Okay. All right, and we're going back on state of Florida versus Janier Oakley. Janier Oakley. And go back to that matter. Okay. All right. So I think we were just looking at count 2, correct?
Yes.
On Mr. Oakley? Hi, good afternoon again, Mr. Oakley.
We were not able to find the license.
Okay, so I'll find no PC as to count 2, PC, so I'll RR on count 2. Okay,
Judge, count 2 is the release outright since you didn't find any PC?
yes, that, right, or,
Release outright.
yeah, that's a release outright on count 2 only. I'm finding PC on all other counts. And what are the standard bonds?
The standard bonds.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Sorry.
Oh, yeah, Mr. Teachers.
What page is he on again of the calendar?
My JA says I can't sign it though. She's like, I don't know how to do it.
Better than mine.
Yeah, no, I mean, I feel like that's a squiggle.
Your Honor, well, for count 3, it would be 1,000. Count 4 would be 150, and then for count 1, that's what we're looking at.
All right, so RR count 2, 1,000 count 3, 150 count 4, and I'm waiting on count 1.
5,000.
And 5,000 on count 1. If you bond out, you need to stay away from Alexandria Clark. Okay. All right, thank you. Okay. All right,
I'm sorry, Your Honor, for Mr. Oakley, count one was 5,000.
count 1,000.
Count two, no PC, count three, 1,000, count four, 150.
Correct.
Thank you.
No problem. Okay. There's a hold for Division 10 on Wilbert Petit. Wilbert Petit, State of Florida, this is Wilbert Petit. Okay. 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 Any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
Okay, I'll find probable cause. What about release on first case F25-12842, petty theft and resisting without?
Your Honor, we would be asking for a dollar bond because I believe he already has a hold, if I'm not mistaken.
State?
Yeah, Your Honor, if you have a felony hold, that's fine.
Dollar bond on both? On both counts? Right? Okay, it'll be $1 on both counts. And on F25-12841, a dollar bond. And hold for Division 10. And if he does happen to gap, he needs to stay away from the Walgreens on Biscayne Boulevard.
Which case you placing a hold on?
I'm sorry, no, the hold is on both cases. Hold for Division 10 on both.
And the case number they're holding them on is F256947.
Thank you.
What's that hold for?
All right, State of Florida versus France Latour. All right, any argument as to PC?
Your Honor, the only probable cause argument I have is that it looks like this was his own property, so you can't steal your own property.
Your
He
Honor,
snatched her phone.
yeah, I was gonna say it's her iPhone was off her wrist.
Okay, I'll find PC. Argument just release.
Your Honor, at this time, we would be asking for pretrial services. It looks like he doesn't have any priors. And as I mentioned, basically in my probable cause argument, I do believe that this is a very weak case for the state. So based on weight of the evidence, lack of priors, we'd be asking for pretrial services.
Okay. I'll what's the standard bond on counts 1 and counts 2?
5,000 on count 1, 1,000 on count 2.
All right, pretrial services. Alternate bond, 5,000 on count 1, 1,000 on count 2. Ordered in. Ordered in. Okay. State of Florida versus Henry Govante.
Reorder for this one.
Oh, I'm sorry. What about, oh yeah. Yes, and a stay away order from, I'm sorry, on Mr.
She's asking on the floor, yes.
On the tour, or stay away order, yes.
Okay, Latour, if you could give us one moment for him to come back.
Yes, sorry. So Mr. Latour, if you bond out, you're to stay away from YV, the victim in this case, okay? And you're not to engage in any criminal activity, possess or use any illegal drugs, possess or use a firearm, okay?
Okay.
All right, thanks. All right, State of Florida versus Henry Gavantes.
The bond out.
Bond out, okay. State of Florida versus Ricardo Castellanos Martinez,
Bond out.
okay. State of Florida versus Christopher Bell. Okay, well, Mr. Bell, any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
I'll find PC. What about release?
Your Honor, we would be asking for pre-trial services. Again, it looks like he doesn't have many contacts, at least recently, with the criminal legal system.
Where's priors? Okay, no problem, no.
And Your Honor, he just ended probation on a felony June 17th.
Yep, he just ended probation. I'm not interested in
What is this defendant's name?
in pretrial release. This is Bell. Okay. All right, what's the standard bond?
On count 1, it would be 2,500. On count 2, 500. Count 3, 50. And count 4, 150.
50 on count 3 and 150.
250 on count 3 and 150.
250 on count. Okay, hold on, and let me look at count 1 because I haven't ordered the bond like that. Okay. I'm gonna order, what was the standard bond on count 1?
2,500.
2,500. I'll order the standard bond. So 2,500 on count 1, 500 on count 2, 250 on count 3, and 150 on count 4. And if he finds out, he's to stay away from Jackie Oleguera and RA. State of Florida versus Inosuke Enrique.
Stay reordered.
Okay, any argument as to PC?
I'm sorry, Your Honor, he will need the services of the interpreter.
Creole or Spanish?
Spanish.
Okay. Spanish interpreter is present, qualified trial. Any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
Okay, what's the alternate bond?
No hay ninguna, o sea, no hay ninguna objeción a causa probable. Vamos a ver cuál es la fianza.
When you get out, sir, you're to stay away from the Home Depot located on 19400 Southwest 106th Avenue.
500.
And it's going to be pretrial services, alternate bond 2,500.
Ok, señor, tiene que, cuando salga de la cárcel, tiene que mantenerse alejado de la tienda Home Depot en el 19400 Southwest 106, you say?
Do you need the address again, interpreter?
Yes, it's 19400 Southwest, but I missed the other part, 100 and something.
106th Avenue.
6th Avenue, that's what I thought. Okay, okay. Tiene un programa, le va a dejar servir más un programa previo a juicio, pero con una fianza alterna de $2,500.
Okay. All right, thank you, sir.
Gracias, señor.
What was the bond for Mr. Ramirez, Judge?
It was pretrial services, alternate bond 2,500.
Thank you.
You're welcome. State of Florida versus Michael Anthony Holmes.
These are added charges, Judge.
Okay. Any argument as to PC?
No probable cause argument.
Okay. He had one from yesterday too. I guess it's the same. I guess we just didn't know it because this was a reset, so we don't need both, right? He had one from yesterday. Okay. I just signed this one so you can discuss. You already just, okay. All right. I'm sorry, no arguments as to pretrial? I'm sorry.
Nope.
As to,
Nope, no probable cause argument, but we would be asking for cap as to release.
what are the standard bonds on?
For count one, it would be 2,500. For count two, 500, and count three, 500.
Okay, so tap alternate bond 2,500 on count one, 500 on count two, 500 on count three. Thank you, sir. And if he gets out, I'm sorry, he needs to stay away. Stay away from CVS on Biscayne. Sorry about that. Stay away, sir, from CVS on Biscayne Boulevard if you were released, okay? Yeah, sir. State of Florida versus Gerald Waters. Gerald Waters.
Reset tomorrow, refuse court.
Okay. State of Florida versus Ricardo Vargas Barrio.
So she's on Zoom.
Okay. He's on Zoom.
Yes.
Okay, let me pass that one. State of Florida versus Terry Bradley. Stay where yes. Is Mr. Bradley approaching?
Yes, Judge.
Okay. Oh, okay. There he is. He can, okay. All right. Good afternoon, Mr. Bradley. Okay, any arguments as to PC?
No PC argument.
Okay, what about release?
Your Honor, state would just be asking for standard.
And
What-
Your Honor, I have spoken with Mr. Bradley and he does have a place to stay. As you can see, he's in a wheelchair. This is a non-violent, simple cocaine possession. So we'd be asking for trial service.
He's homeless, maybe tap? Oh, he does.
Okay.
Okay. Does he qualify? Okay, he qualifies for pretrial services. I'll order him to pretrial services. Sir, if you're released, you need to stay away from 19942 Northwest Second Avenue. Where you were arrested. What are the alternate bonds?
2,500 on count two and 500 on count three.
All right, so it'll be pretrial services, alternate bond, 2,500 count one, 500 count two, 500 count three. All right, and then we'll go back to Mr. Ricardo Vargas Barrio, who is on Zoom. Okay. And any argument as to PC? Mr. Barrio is present.
No probable cause argument.
Okay, what about release?
Your Honor, if we could, if he qualifies, I would be asking for TAF, or in the alternative, a reduced bond of $2,500.
Your Honor, state has no objection to a reduced bond.
Right. 2,500 on count one, and what about count two?
Count two, the standard is 500. So I don't know.
Okay, and what was the standard bond on count one?
5,000. 5,000.
Okay, so I'll find PC, it's 2,500 on count one, 2,500, excuse me, 2,500 on count one, 500 on count two. Sir, if you bond out, you must stay away from the CVS at 7,400 Collins Avenue in Miami Beach.
¿Usted habla inglés, señor?
Sí, I can't bond out, so
Oh,
don't
okay.
worry about the bond.
All right, perfect.
Sure. All right, that's all for his case. Okay, I believe that brings us to the end of our felony calendar. Is that correct?
I just put a call, whatever, right?
Yeah. One more, Judge.
Yes, Your Honor.
Right in?
I think this is, yeah.
Okay.
What?
Right. You weren't platted from the writing, we didn't print out the road report or anything.
They have to reset for tomorrow.
Okay, he has to be reset for tomorrow because it didn't make the calendar even as a write-in. I'm sorry, sir.
The reason why, Judge, again?
It didn't make the calendar even as a write-in. We don't have any paperwork over here.
Clerks were not informed.
The clerks weren't informed, so we don't have any paperwork.
They were informed. I called this morning, Judge, and gave it to the clerk.
Okay, well, I can only tell you what I'm being told, but it's not, we don't have the paperwork over here. I'm sorry. I'm completely out of paperwork. I've called the entire calendar.
No problem, Judge. We'll put it on the jail card. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. We'll reset it and we'll address it tomorrow. My apologies, sir. It may have been given to the previous clerks, but the ones that are in court, we don't have any paperwork. Okay? All right, thank you, folks. Okay, no problem.
Judge, do we have anything in juvenile again? Or no?
No, there's no.
Okay, thank you. Have a great day. Mhm.
Hey, what's that writing you guys want so I can make this month?
All right.
Okay. Okay, good.